We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, president, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. I want to say hello to you all. Yes, I'm going to be riding out solo today. This is Robert Henderson Jr. I am going to discuss today with you all wills and trusts, estate planning, and give you some idea of what you should be looking at. And I want you to get your pencil and your paper and your pads out because I want you to be able to help yourself, not only yourself, but your loved ones. Okay. Yes, today I'm riding solo. James T can't make it today. And also my other co-host, Linda V. Harris. She won't be able to make it today. But we know that they will be listening. They'll be able to look at the tape. But we know that I have their blessings and I'm going to do a job as if they were here. Okay. I ain't scared. I can do it. I'm used to talking my full head off. Good morning, P. Hadn't heard from you in a while. P, you okay, bro? You still clocking them dollars? Mr. and Mrs. Redhead, I know you there. I love y'all when y'all pop on. I've been out. Me, Heisey, and Tavares. We were at a financial conference, financial planning. It was in Philadelphia. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. We was there all week last week. We got back last night. Learned a lot of stuff that's we're going to be incorporating. We're forever learning and growing because the more you know, the more there is to know. Every time we learn something, we know that there's more out there that we didn't know. So really had a good time in Brotherly Love City. Boy, they played a lot of soul music there. I mean, all the venues that we were there, wasn't a whole lot of people looked like us. It was like 4,000 out there that didn't look like us. It was probably about 11 out of 4,000. That's not even 1%. You figure 1%, even 10% of 4,000 people is 400 people. 1% would be like 40 people. So it wasn't even 40 black people of color. It wasn't even that. It was like 11 of us out of 4,000. So, but I've been used to that all 30 years, 30 of my years in the financial services business. It's pretty tough out there, man. And here it is, 2023. When I got into the business, man, it was very lonely, but I knew that I was on to something because the path that's least traveled. And you have to go where the money is and you have to learn and be proactive. And I was willing to do that. I wasn't born wealthy or rich, but I felt that, hey, the God that loved the God that created the heavens and the earth created me too. So the only thing I had to do was try and make effort. I didn't know anything about nothing. That's when people tell me, when I tell them about doing something, they say they don't know anything about it. I mean, most of us ain't know anything about nothing. We didn't know how to walk. Definitely didn't know how to talk. We had to learn to do that. So, because you don't know something, that don't give you an excuse not to learn about something, and that's what life is about learning and growing and sharing and, peace and love, I turned 65 years old in September. When I look back at my journey through life and being a black man in America, being black in a white world, it could be pretty difficult. But I do believe that the creator that created me put me in this hue, this color, this body for a reason. And so I look at life as, we've been dealt a hand, like a card game. And the whole essence of the game, the object of the game of life is whatever hand that you're dealt. You're not supposed to just sob and just feel sorry for yourself. That means that you have a task. This is what you're supposed to be doing. However condition that you was born in, you just got to think and you got to figure out, okay, how do I get to higher ground? What should I, learn? What should I know? Some people have mentors. I never really had a personal mentor. I think I made the world my mentor. People, successful people. Well, not only successful people, people that were doing bad, horrible things. I was surrounded by all walks of life. Gangsters, pimps, professional people, non-professional people, laborers, people that did service, people that had trades. Not too many professional people, not too many entrepreneurs, but kind of entrepreneurs in their way, living in the hood, making it do what it do and making something out of nothing. That kind of entrepreneur. But I would say what has got me to where I am right now is just observing the different many people and styles and just different walks of life. And I looked at that, and I never labeled myself, believe it or not. I just looked at myself as a person, and I was going to try to learn what I need to learn in order to navigate through this world. Um, so what I learned, I'm gonna tell you reason why I'm talking like this, because when it's all said and done, it's only two things that really, really, um, this whole thing is about. Really, 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 really two things when it comes back. They color it. You can call it anything you want to, black, white, poor, rich, or poor, whatever. But in all the world, in the whole world, I found that, man, everybody is either on this side or that side. And when I say on this side or that side, in all the world, there's only two things. One is truth. Two is falsehood. That's it. I'm gonna say it again. In all the whole world, whether it comes to financial planning, whether it comes to marriage, whether it comes to just relationships, whether it comes to just your whole mind, body, and soul, it really all boils down to figuring out or gravitating or going toward the truth, the light, or going toward falsehood. And coming up as a kid, I can look back now, coming as a kid, most of the time when you're born, you're just figuring out, hey, you're a person and you're conscious of it, and you're trying to say, okay, this is how life is, and you get with the crowd and you get whatever economic abilities that you have. Whether you're low income, middle income, or your family, because you're a kid, but you're thinking that most people are going to try to do the right thing, and I think in a sense that's true. But the world and life, man, it's just not. You got truth and you got falsehood. There's a lot of people that's trying to rip you off and tell you lies, and they live on lies. And then there's other people that really gravitate toward the truth. So that's what I mean by the light and the darkness. And they come in all walks of life. The professionals put on titles. You can have a rogue lawyer. You can have a rogue doctor, a dentist. You can have. They hide behind these titles, but you have to be able to discern truth and falsehood. That's what it's all about. Something wrong with your car, you got to make sure you're dealing with a mechanic who's dealing with truth, because a lot of them deal with falsehood, and that's because of the money. And most people deal in falsehood because they want the money. And once you start understanding about, that's how the life is. Your job is to be wise and pay attention, and to ask, to seek, to knock, because we don't get training, and you don't get a training in how the world works. They don't have no classes like that, how the world really works. There's no class. So you have to kind of figure it out or get with the right crowd, and who's doing wrong and who's doing right and who's doing scams. But like I said, it all comes down to truth and falsehood. Now I know some people say, "What is my truth might not be your truth." Well, you can always understand and figure out what truth is, because truth is the higher self. It doesn't rip people off. It doesn't cause any pain. It doesn't it's wrapped around love. It's the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Be honest. Don't steal from someone. Don't be lying to people. That's all the truth I'm talking about. I'm not talking about whether you believe blue is better than green. No, I'm saying when it comes to dealing with your fellow man. Now, today, and I'm started talking about that because still today, and me and James C was talking about this earlier, 3 out of 10 people, adults, have a will. And so, if they don't have a will, they don't even know what a trust is. And then I'm going to talk today about Ladybird. And the reason why I want to stay on this subject for a while is because repetition also is one of the things that we all should understand and know how to use repetition. There's a universal law, the law of repetition. And it says if you keep doing something, whether it's good or bad, over and over and over and over, it becomes second nature to you. It starts off hard, but it becomes easy. When you apply this law of repetition to anything, it becomes good. You get good, better, and your best. Everybody, there's nobody on the planet who's really good at what they do who does not adhere to the laws of repetition. That means doing it over and over and over and over. To be a good golfer, to be a good basketball player, be a good pianist, be a good teacher, to be a good father, be a good mother, be a good cook, to be a good athlete, whatever. It's the law of repetition. And that's why I want to talk to you about this, because it means so much to me. Because even if you have your will or your trust or your ladybird set up, your estate plan, but there's someone who you know that doesn't. And it could be an uncle, an aunt, a grandmother, a grandfather, a sister, a brother. We all have a duty to love and help each other, because that's how you fulfill really the divine uh, order. It really is. You can never reach your highest highs by yourself. That's why I love doing what I do, sharing. And every time I get information, it fills me up. I just have to give it out, because I know that I get my blessings every time I share. And I know that I didn't make myself. And if I learn something, that's by the grace of my creator, God. So therefore, I must now hog it and keep it to myself. It's meant for me to tell you. So I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? Because I gravitate toward the light and the truth. There's a lot of people that don't understand estate planning. Now, let's start off from the beginning. So someone asked me last Saturday, I was at Miramar Cultural Center. It was a really nice turnout. I was really surprised that many people came out, pleasantly surprised. And it was really good. We had a really good time, and I liked it a lot. And last Saturday, it was really good. Let me see, James C. post something. The people at the event last Saturday loved you and lined up after you spoke directly to them. Okay. Thank you for being you and sharing your knowledge at the event. Yeah. So yeah. So Saturday, it was really, really good. I mean, I think that's the most I've ever spoke, had that many people that was really listening, and they were involved and engaged and understanding the whole wills and trust stuff. Because when you hear that 3 out of 10 people, that's like saying you got 10 people over there standing up, only 3 of them have a will or trust or anything. And the other 7, I just think, I don't know. You have to, if you own something, if your name is on an asset, whether it's a car, whether it's a house, whether it's land, whether it's retirement planning, whether it's bank account. And if you all of a sudden give up the ghost and die, and just your name is there alone, you're going to have to, not you, but your loved one's going to have to pay money to get your money, to get it straightened out. And you have to go through an attorney. And if you have money in the bank account, you single person, you're grown, you're over 18 years old, you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your thing, and you have a heart attack and you die, and you have $20,000 in any Bank of America or any credit union, your loved ones, first of all, in order to get even to talk to someone, they have to go to an attorney. Man, they can charge you $3,000, $5,000 just for the paperwork. So even though you yourself might not feel, hey, you ain't paying it, you dead, but somebody's got to pay it, and it's coming out of your money. And you want to just be in control of yours. If you worked hard for something, you want to be in control of it right to the end. Someone asked me during the workshop about a kid, so the kid have a will. So let's understand this. A will, and the will is the bare minimum. A will is, I liken a will to like having a beeper right now in 2023. Beepers went out of style a long time ago. So if you got a will is like, it's antiquated, but at least it's something. Even when you had a beeper, at least you knew somebody beat you and somebody wanted you. But if you didn't even have a beeper, nobody couldn't really contact you. And then from the beeper, then it came smartphones. But at least somebody was able to contact. There's some sort of communication. When you have assets, I'm gonna paint a picture. So here's Sandra over here. Sandra was married, but now Sandra divorced. She got rid of that sucker. Now Sandra owned her own home and she's proud and she got a good job. Sandra has a 401k on her job. Sandra didn't put anybody as beneficiary on her 401k. She just didn't, because she figured it was, she haven't made a decision up. She haven't made up her mind yet. She figured she has time. And Sandra works, she has a good job, and she has his home. And Sandra, feel, hey, she's got a boyfriend, but she just started dating him. But, hey, she don't have no children. One day, Sandra wake up dead. She in heaven. She can't come back here. She gone. Spirit gone. Body somewhere. I don't think her body there. They had a funeral for her, but somebody came with the money, because the money that she had in the bank, nobody gonna have access to that. And any of her loved relatives saying, I know Sandra has some money, they got to take their own money and hire an attorney to look into it. And that's just derelict of Sandra. I mean, she should have. I mean, if you got some money in a bank, if you got a house and you worked hard for it, and you're a single person, I mean, at least you can put together a will. So what is a will? First of all, a will is a document, and it's a document that you write down and pinpoint all that you own, all of your things and stuff. Now, you don't have your diamond ring and all that, that's personal property. They'll come and get that. Well, you can name it if it's worth. You can put my diamond ring should go to Tommy or Sandra or whatever. Okay, but a will is just a documentation that lists all of your personal assets, like your car. If you die, who you want the car to go to. If you die, who you want your home to go to. In your 401ks or your IRAs, they come with a beneficiary. So you want to be able to put the beneficiary down, who you'd want to get your assets if you give up the ghost and you're not here and you're in heaven somewhere, okay? I'm assuming you're going to heaven. I'm trying to be optimistic, okay? So that's what a will is. But a will is better than having nothing, because if you don't have that, that means that when Sandra died, they got to come in the house, find a body, start looking at the mattress, trying to find out, does she have any insurance? Does she have any life insurance? I mean, does she have any money in a safety deposit? They got to look and search, and that could be nerve-wracking. But at least if Sandra left a little map, a clue, a map, I'm calling a map a will, have something with a name on it, Social Security name on it, and who she would want her stuff to be, who she wanted, to her assets to be distributed to, then that's a clue, at least that. But even that, the reason why I say a will is just the bare minimum, because like I said, it stops you from hunting and looking where her stuff was. If she has a will, at least you know where everything is. Okay, here's her car. She wants that to go to Johnny, and a house. She wants that to go to Billy, and then her bank account, she wants that to go to, to a cousin. I mean, it gives us some kind of direction. We have something. We're not scatterbrained. We're not guessing. It takes all the guesswork out. We see it right here. At least that's a will. And the wills, they cost anywhere $300, $500. If it costs $150 because it's just simple. So attorneys like wills. When you go to an attorney, that's the first thing they want you to probably do is do a will. The reason why, because that's like the appetizer, getting your money. Because if you have a will and you die, whatever's on that will is not kosher. In other words, it's not the final say. The judge has the final say. The judge, because all wills have to go to court. I want to say that again. When you get an attorney to draw up a will and you say where you want your stuff to go, who you want to leave it to, that's not the final disposition. That's like the appetizer. That's like the salad. That's not the full meal. That's the full course meal. You know, that's the appetizer. That's the beginning. You're just starting. At least you have something to start with. But then after that, it has to go to court. Court is called probate. And probate could be a mess because now that will has to go to court, probate. Anybody can come and contest that will. Your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friend, your creditors. They can come there and say, hey, for y'all you distribute this money, Your Honor, Judge, she owed me some money. And this is why. I lent her some money. Here, right here, she signed. I loaned her $5,000 and she supposed to pay me back. See right here, here's her signature. So I supposed to get that money. So Sandra could say, no, I paid you back. But no. That document, Sandra can't talk. So that document is being contested, the will. So all wills has to go through probate. And probate, man, like I said, I've seen probate break a lot of families up. Grown, they're not just kids, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. They don't talk to each other no more because you took mama pearls and you took mama this and not that. Mama left it, said she won't leave it to me. Now, I once went to one in, well, that's another story. I'll tell you about that later on doing today, but because that involved a living trust. But this right here is a will. Now, some of y'all who are married, if you're married, really estate planning, if you're single, you really need to have your stuff in order. Okay. Now, if you're like my Uncle Willie who died, Uncle Willie was a Rolling Stone. He didn't own no house. He lived in my mother's house, my aunt house, anybody's house. Willie didn't own a car in his name. He just, I don't know what Willie would ride a bicycle. He borrow somebody's car. When Willie died, he didn't need no will. He didn't need nothing because he didn't have nothing that he needed to transfer before he died. Assets. He didn't have no assets. So if you got P-Head Willie, if you got a P-Head Willie cousin or uncle or friend or son or whoever, and they don't own nothing, they don't really need no will or no trust because they don't have nothing. They're a Rolling Stone. Now, if you're a single person, you just had an apartment. You don't own that apartment. So when you die, they just rent it to somebody else. So you don't need to have nothing. But if you have a 401k or IRA, then you have to have a beneficiary on that. So that don't go through probate. That goes directly. One thing about the insurance companies, one thing about investment houses, when you have as a beneficiary down on the document, those legal documents, then you can have the wrong person down. You can list your old girlfriend and you done got married 2 times over, and you still have your old girlfriend as the beneficiary on the old 401k or IRA. Your loving wife who paid for the funeral ain't getting a dime because as beneficiary, when you die, whoever name on that, it sticks. It's stuck. Court of law don't have no jurisdiction over it. It's stuck. So y'all got to check them beneficiaries from your old girlfriends or your old husbands or your old wives. Okay. Now, if you have husband and wife, the problem really comes in terms of estate planning is when one dies. When one dies, then all of the stuff normally goes to the other spouse. So it's okay. So you don't have to go through probate. Unless it's your second marriage. It's your second marriage, your third marriage, your fourth marriage, and you have kids, and families, and then you probably should have not a will, because remember, wills still go through probate. And this can be a mess. And it costs money. And the more money you have in assets, the more money the attorney gonna charge you. And he's gonna charge you more. I mean, because think about it. If somebody try to sue Bumhead Willie, and you say you want to sue Bumhead Willie, and you go get an attorney, the attorney gonna say, well, who is Bumhead Willie? They don't have none. I ain't getting ready to take this case. Because the attorney can't make no money off Bumhead Willie. But if you say you want to sue Robert Henderson, the attorney won't take that case, whether you're wrong or right. Because they're gonna make me settle. because it's foolishness. It's the same thing about if you have a will and you don't have nothing but a little something, it's going to cost you less in probate. But if you have assets, if you own this property, that property, and you have to go through probate, an attorney, he's going to charge your estate, he's going to charge a lot of money because he's going to look at that and say, oh man, you got $1 million worth of stuff in here. Oh man, I'm gonna milk this thing. I'm gonna prolong it, and I'm charging $500 an hour. You can't contest it. Your family ain't gonna contest it. You dead. So he got a free fall. Okay, so let's get back. Cause some of you married couples saying that y'all need a will. I don't like wills when married couples. Okay, I really more like living trust. So if you married for the second time or the third time and you got outside kids, now if you have a spouse that says, listen, I know that my spouse have other kids and I'm going to do the right thing by them, that's one thing. A lot of times the new spouse and the other kids and the ex-spouse, a lot of times they don't get along, but you love them both, love everybody. So when you make your transition, you want to make sure that you leave something. And so you should probably have a living trust to make provision saying, in this trust, I want to be able to provide for little Ricky and little Johnny, because I know my wife, she ain't think about them. She only think about herself. And then that's true. Then you need to have a living trust set up, okay? Because there's other things going on. But if you got this husband and wife, and the spouse say, listen, something happened to me, man, I'm giving it all to her, my wife. She put up with all my stuff. She can have it all. And then you make your transition. That means everything will go to the spouse. The problem comes in is when the spouse is by herself and she's not married. That's when you have estate planning problems. Once the last person standing, then you're going to have some problems unless you have a living trust. If you have a will, it goes to probate, and it can be very costly, especially if you have assets and you have some kind of net worth. Okay. So the first thing that comes across is you need to have at least a will. Like I said, only 3 out of 10 people, for every 10 people you come across, only 3 people have at least a will. But I like the living trust because the living trust is the same document, but it doesn't go through probate. In other words, you list on a living trust. You say, listen, I want my house or my car, this land to go to this person, that person, that person, that person. You can name anybody you want to. And it's etched in stone. And then when you die, it's really cemented and it cannot be changed. It can only be changed while you're alive. That's why they call it a living trust. Because you could say, okay, I want my daughter to get my business. But all of a sudden, 5 years later, you're alive, your daughter alive, and she married the wrong person. You don't like that guy. You figure that guy just using her. So then you change it because you're living. You can change your trust. Okay, nah, scratch that. I don't want my daughter to get this when she died. I want it to stay in the trust, and I want it to benefit her, but I don't want her name to be on it because she's going to marry that joker, and he's just going to try to divorce her and get the stuff. So I'm going to have this living trust for the benefit of my daughter, but it's not going to go out of the trust name into my daughter's name when I die. The assets still will stay inside of the trust for the benefit of her. And when she needs money, she can get it from the trust. Then she's called a trust baby. But if they get a divorce, he can't get nothing because it ain't hers. It's the family trust. Okay, so that's having a living trust. Living trust doesn't go through probate. Once you do a living trust, and it shouldn't cost you no more than $1,000, $1,200, maximum probably $1,500. But if you own, a duplex, some land, a business, or whatever, it could go up to, $3,000. It depends on how sophisticated you want it to be, and you can control stuff from the grave. So I really, really, really like living trust. But remember now, you unless if you're husband and wife, it's usually for the last man standing. But sometimes there's cases where the husband and wife have been on a cruise ship and the cruise ship went down. You need to have some sort of living trust or something. So you do have couples that have that set up. The plane may go down and both of y'all gone, or the whole family gone. Now we got a big estate planning problem. So if you want to, if you're thinking about what I'm saying and you think it pertains to you, then you want to call me 305-825-1444 and we can have a session. I'll go over it with you. But you need to have something because, you know, people dying every day and they ain't going to stop dying. Every day you wake up dead. Like, oh my God, that person died. Oh, what? You know, it just happens. That's part of living. You know, good book says if there's a beginning, there is an ending. You know, I mean, at least the flesh, spirit lives on, but the flesh is going to dissipate. It's going to fade. Everything that you can see is going to change, fade, and pass away. Everything must change, and it's just the way things are. So I'm okay with it. You know, that's why you should try to make the best of your life and treat people good. Have a good conscience, because conscience is everything. What I mean by conscience, meaning that you know you've done right by people. You feel good. There's nothing. There's no amount of money that can stand larger than consciousness. Having a good conscience that you've done right. You're not ripping people off. You help your fellow man. That's way better than drugs. You know, that's a good stuff. Okay. So now has another strategy that I like very much, and I use. Matter of fact, I use it with my mother who passed in August. And it's called Lady Bird Deed. Now that thing costs $150. So let me tell you what a Lady Bird Deed, especially here in Florida. And there's only so many states in the country that allows a Lady Bird Deed. Now you figure, why would some states not? Because remember, you know, in America is attorneys, corporations, trusts, it's business country, entrepreneurial country. That's what America is. So, you know, if you think about Congress, almost all of them are attorneys. You know, Congress, the leaders, you know, whether state you are, there's attorneys, man, attorneys. And it's a good old boy system. And sometimes, you know, they'll have something legal in one state and not legal in other, because it's all about the money, man. It really is. It's all about the money. And if you don't understand how money works, then you need to start learning. It's all about the money. I don't care if it's church, hospitals. Man, it's some peppermint tea. That's some good stuff. Peppermint tea. Education. Y'all know education shouldn't cost that much to educate somebody to go to college, but it's all about the money. You know, you say one thing, but two things are going on. It's all about the money. Okay, trying to get to heaven, go to church, and we need a church fund, a building fund. It's all about the money. Hospitals too. It's all about the money. What's behind the curtain is about the money. So think about if you're single. If you wanted to, it's only 3 out of 10 people have something in order. I hope you're not the 7. And if you are, this program, and I'm talking to you. And if you do have your financial house in order in terms of your estate plan, then you know there's some people around you that don't, who you love. Just talk to them about it. And most people don't want to talk about transition, especially dying, especially big mama, big papa. They feel that you start talking to them about it, you're trying to do something, you're trying to trick them, you're going to poison them. They don't want to eat your food no more, you know. But I guess it's the way how you talk to them. And, you know, you can't make people do anything. And you shouldn't try to make people see what you see. Because I do believe that those who's supposed to get it is going to get it. You know, and I always say there's 3 types of people: those who see when they're told, and lastly, those who just don't see. The ones who just don't see, you can't really judge them, because at one time you didn't see, and maybe it's just not their time. Some of them don't see, and next thing you know, they're dead. Hey, you didn't create them, so it's not your responsibility. You can only control what you can control. But you should, if you can, not go on the corner preaching to people, telling people, trying to make people. You when the situation come up, or you should tell them, hey, listen, this black dude with these glasses on, who's president of the Henderson Financial Group, just have them come to the website or have them come to YouTube or Facebook and just listen to this over. It's something that each and every one of us have to deal with sooner or later. Really do. I was thinking, so this Ladybird deed. Let's talk about the Ladybird deed that I use with my mom. My mom, I would say, I'll have a house in Miami Lakes, and when she retired, she was 62 years old from the school system, and she was living in Opelika, and I grew up there, Florida, and the neighborhood was changing, and that was in the year 2000. Crack was still running around. The neighborhood was getting kind of really rough, so I moved out of that neighborhood, and I moved out of the neighborhood in 1986. Yes, when I got married to Natalie, 1987. I got married in 1987, but I moved out in 86. But anyway, my mom retired, so I moved her in the gated community that I was living in, and then I bought another house. And what I did was, since she was 62 years old, I had a small mortgage, but I said I put her in the house. She was in the house. She loved it. But I noticed that since it wasn't my homestead anymore, and her name wasn't on a deed, every year the property taxes were going up. And I'm saying, my God, if it's not your primary residence, it's not your homestead, they're going to tax you. So every year, that property taxes in that Miami Lakes house was going up every year. And I'm like, I got to stop this bleeding. How do I do that? And then I got an idea. I said, oh, man, since I moved my mom in there, she don't have to pay anything. I pay everything, but the property taxes keep going on. I need to stop this bleeding. So I said, what could I do? Oh, I could put my mom name on the deed as owner. My name is on there, my wife's name on there, but I can put my mom name on there as the owner. That's what I did. So then when I put her name on there as owner, bam, she was older, she was widowed, but them property taxes froze, man. That was some good stuff. Now I'm telling y'all my personal business, but I don't really mind, because some of y'all could use that same strategy, because you already know this. I trust my mom. She was 62 years old at that time in the year 2000. And boom, I homesteaded. It was her homestead. Bam, me and my wife was on there. That was pretty good stuff, right? Then I had so much equity in the property. My mom was homesteaded. Then I said, oh my God, my mom, I could use a reverse mortgage, pull the equity out, bam, invest it, and not pay no mortgage. Then I did that. Now I'm telling y'all this strategy because I want y'all to start thinking, man. You got to be thinking. Let me tell you something. The hardest thing for man to do is think. Y'all think y'all thinking. Now I was just thinking right there. That's example thinking. Y'all think y'all thinking. No. Most people are listening and regurgitating and repeating. That's not thinking. They just, somebody else says, no, that's not thinking. You got to think. How do you do that? So I had a problem, and I came up with a solution. That's thinking. And it was legal. So I put my mom's name on there. So now it's homesteaded. The property taxes, man, like $1,100. I'm like, oh man, plus widowed. And then I turned around, and the equity was in the house. I put a reverse mortgage. And I don't mean, but my mom, and they say, Rob, you got to take your name off because you and your wife younger. Your name can't be on the reverse mortgage with your mom because she's old. I said, no problem. Took my name off. Bam. Put my mom on there. Reverse mortgage, pull equity out. Bam. Invested that. I can't tell you how much that done grow. That was in the year 2000. Fast forward. Mom died. Well, before mom died, I did a Ladybird deed. Ladybird deed means that it's a one piece of paper actually, and mom signs it to says that in the event that she should die, this property goes to Robert and Natalie Henderson, and we recorded that deed. It does not interfere, does not do anything with reverse mortgage because it's a deed. Okay, it's a Ladybird deed, and it was good. So mom had a life estate. So mom can live in there, do whatever she want to do. The property taxes still stay low. When mom made her transition, she went to heaven, and the property just back in my name. Now, some people say, well, when you got to pay the reverse mortgage back, that's no problem, because the money that I use done tripled in the last 23 years. And I can just pay it off. But guess what? Reverse mortgage people call me and say, hey, listen, you got 6 months. Matter of fact, if you need more than 6 months, we'll give you another 6 months. Give you a year. Figure it out. What do you want to do? I want to refinance it, put a mortgage on it, take money from my IUL, pay it off. What I want, I got choices. But in the meantime, guess what Robert Henderson doing? Renting that baby out. Boy. Now that's thinking. Now that is thinking. So I want you all to know that I'm in this thing with you. I'm not a textbook type of financial planner. I'm in the battlefield. That's why I go to these workshops all the time. James says, should we annually take the time to list our assets and know how much money in that 401k? Yes, Mr. James T. You should always track your net worth to find out how much money you have. Do a budget. Be proactive, because this is you. Ain't nobody coming. You ain't got big mama, or teacher, the principal gonna grade you. This is real life. You got to get serious, especially when you get over 40 years old. When you get over 40 years old, man, you're supposed to say, okay, I get it now. I done made my mistakes. I married the wrong person. I went to jail, got out. My credit was bad. Now it's good now. You learn a lot by the time you're 40. But if you over 40 and you still acting like a fool, then I can't spend a lot of time with you. I don't understand it, because I'm saying after when you about age 40 years old, you should be able to figure it out by now. You know which crew to hang out with. Ain't nothing happened after 4 o'clock in the morning on a weekend but trouble. You should be able to figure it out by now. You should do the happy hour and the freaks come out at night. You should be figuring it out by now, by the time you're 40. But if you still acting like a fool, then I don't have too much advice to give to you. You're that third person that just don't see. And it's okay. I mean, Jesus said there will always be the poor among you. And I don't know, not poor in terms of monetary, but poor in thought, So most of us should learn. I would like to think that most of us is the second type of person. When we hear, we change. When we know something, we do better. When you know better, you do better. I would think that the three type of people, those that see when they're told, I would think that's most of us. But then there's a whole lot of people who just don't see. I don't care if you talk to them till they're blue in the face. All right. So let's go back and recap. So we're talking about the bare minimum is having a will. If you don't want to have a living trust, but you don't really have to have a living trust. If you're just talking about one piece of property, then you can do a Lady Bird deed. And if you listen to me in another state, just Google and say, are Lady Bird deeds permitted in your state? And they'll say yes or no, But that has something to do with legislatures and attorneys, whether they want to get the money or not, or they want to charge you for having their wills. Wills they really want wills. Most people have a will because wills just set it up so the attorney can get more money. Because you have a will, the attorney done stapled his business card on that will, so when you die, your family gonna look at it and call him up to go to probate so he get more money. So that it's just it's a never ending story. So. But when you do a living trust, it's a component. It's like a portable will that's in it. But then again, a living trust, I do like a living trust because it has the health surrogate, meaning that some people don't want blood, or some people want to donate their organs, and some people don't want to be, hooked up to a machine. Inside that living trust, there's a part that says, listen, if don't keep me alive, after 6 months on a machine and paying this hospital bill and draining up the assets so y'all don't have no money. There's a part in there that the health part that say, hey, cut the cord and let me go. I'm out of here. And you don't want to make that decision because your brothers and sisters say, no, don't kill mama, and you kill mama. But it'd be already written before. So it's not that you make a decision. Inside the living trust, it'll say how you want to go, whether you want to be cremated or if you want your body parts to be donated. That's part of the living trust also that you can have in there. And the thing about it also, when you do a living trust now, you actually want to give an attorney to draw up a living trust, you got to be careful. You got to fund the trust. I've seen a lot of living trusts. People say they have living trust, but it was unfunded. Let me tell you what that means when I mean by unfunded living trust. Because people do it when they say they want to have an LLC. They have an LLC, but it was never converted to their business. Just to do the paperwork is nothing. You got to actually do it. So here is a guy. Let me give you an example. This guy named Jimmy. He said, Henderson, I already have a living trust. I said, let me look at it. So when I looked at the living trust, he paid an attorney $3,500 to create a living trust for him. So I said, Jimmy, let me look at it. I looked at it and I said, okay, Jimmy, I see your living trust. I see it's done, but I don't see it's funded. He said, what do you mean? What are you talking about, Willis? He said, what are you talking about? I said, it's not funded. It just, you paid the attorney $3,500 to create a living trust for you, but there's nothing in it. No assets are in it. He said, what do you mean? I said, okay, let me give you a metaphor. It's like you have a closet in your house. You have a home or apartment, and there's a closet where you keep your clothes. Let's call the closet the living trust. Instead of calling the closet, you call it a living trust. That's the name of it, okay? We're going to change it from closet to living trust. Now, inside the closet, your clothes should be in there. In other words, the clothes we're going to call your assets. What if you have a closet and all your clothes are on your bed or on the or laying on the couch or laying on the chair? And you look inside the closet, you have the closet, but there's no clothes in it. Some attorneys, when you hire them and say, I want to create a living trust, they create the closet, but they never put the clothes in. It's not funded. They never put the clothes inside the trust. So when you die, you just have paperwork for a living trust, but you got to go through probate because all your clothes are sitting on the bed. Did y'all just learn something? That's true. I'm telling you. If you get on Google and say, hey, how much you charge for a living trust? They'll tell you, give me your information. I'm a living trust. This is what it costs. Bam. But it's got to be a funded. They say, I call an attorney up. I said, listen, you did a living trust for Jimmy here, but is it funded? They go, no, he got to pay more for that because we got to record the deed. We got to take the asset out of his personal name, Jimmy, and put it into Jimmy's family living trust. That's a quitclaim deed. He didn't pay us for that. He just paid us for just the frame. He just paid us for the closet. He didn't pay us to fund it, to put the clothes in the closet, in other words. Y'all just catch that? No, I'm telling you, that's good stuff. Y'all need to know that, man. Because they use all these fancy words. They know you ain't fancy. They just want your money. But you got to say the right thing. You didn't say Captain May I. You move. You didn't say Captain May I. When you're dealing with business, man, it's meticulous. It's documentations, irrevocable or revocable. That means something. A revocable living trust means that you can change your mind. An irrevocable living trust, when you say Sally gonna get it, you can't change your mind. There's little words, irrevocable or non-vocable. This stuff, man, that's why you need counseling. Stop trying to go on your own. Stop trying to wait. You want to be the cashier. You want to wait the tables. You want to be the dishwasher. You want to cook and you want to be the host. You can't do all that. Me, Robert Henderson at the Henderson Financial Group, as good as I am, I understand it. I know who's supposed to be doing it, but I need my whole crew with me. I need all of us can serve and all of us are different. You need a team, man. If you're trying to do something by yourself, you would never reach your highest highs. You need a team. You don't have to learn it. You need to know who to call. Like I said, if I go out there, if I get ready to leave this office today and my car won't start, you think I'm going to get under there and listen, when I lift that hood up, it all looks the same to me. I need to call somebody, though. I can call somebody who can know. That's what I mean. Stop trying to do it yourself and look it up and spend time. When you're about your business, you're not trying to learn how to do everything, be the everything man, a master of none. No, you understand the concept. You understand what needs to be done, but you need to have the right people doing things. So yeah, that right there, a lot of people say they have a living trust, but it's an unfunded living trust. That right there, I want y'all to pay attention to. Tara said, good morning, Brother Robert. Me and Neil, let the church say here, man, that's my family. Tara and Neil. Hey, listen, get ready. We're going to Japan next next year we're going to Japan. I didn't want to go this year or last year, that COVID stuff. I didn't want to get everything over, but I do like traveling. We're going to Japan. All right. So y'all get ready. Probably in September. Yeah. All right. So good morning, Curtis. I'll talk to you later, Curtis. We'll talk later on today. Mr. Corvell. Who else we got? Denise Ward, Miss Anna Dupree. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me say, who else we got? Lynette Blondette. Good morning. Good morning. The Lawrence got to get that will and that trust set up, man. That trust, Lady Bird D, Tracy, you know. We've had that talk, Tracy. You got to get it. I've been talking to Arnold. Arnold can set it up for you. Leah, good morning. Brenda Brown, LJ, what's up, brother? 2 times here, LJ, Mr. Redhead, Parnell. You know, boy, I hope you didn't start working on that living trust, Parnell, because you getting wealthy and doing the right thing. You know, any of us can wake up dead. You gotta really, you gotta think and be proactive. You know, I was thinking this morning about time, time. You know, when I was at this conference, it was all people that didn't look like me, 4,000, but all the servants, people that were serving looked like me. It was in Philadelphia, and they were all through the conference and the conference. And then you have breakout classes, and after the classes, then you have this thing look like a home show, you know, big convention center with all kind of, you know, from Fidelity to Vanguard, you know, all these different funds and all these different investment houses. Let me talk to you. Let me tell you what we do and all that, right? But all the servants were people of color. You know, I mean, you know, that was a good thing to get a job. But I was talking to one young lady. She came up to me because there was only like 11 of us. So she spotted me and she says, hey, what, you know, can you buy stocks here or whatever? You got $100. Can you double it? And I said, listen, let me tell you something. Not in here. You can't take $100 and double it. That's not building wealth real fast. Wealth, and I want to say this to you all. Wealth takes time. See, that's one of the trade-offs. Most people are trying to get a PhD, a master's degree in something. Let me tell you something. There's nothing can stop time. There's nothing can beat time. Time is on your side. Wealth is created, not instant. There's no instant wealth. If there's instant wealth, I'm telling you, it's going to be lost. People win the lotto and they broke. People all of a sudden get a record deal and they boom, they broke. Wealth, there's something about wealth and time. It takes time to grow some. If you just look at nature, you can plant a tree. And 20, 25 years later, that thing, boy, give you some shade. And if it was a fruit, give you a fruit. But it took that long, 20, 25 years. Like the stock market up and down, crashing. You know, you don't really have to freak out over the stock market crashing and going down because you shouldn't have your rent and your mortgage money there. But I promise you, it's going to go back up. Right now, 3,200, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down. Come on, man, 10 years from now, it's going to be up much more. They roller coasted intentionally. You cannot get rich quick. You can get poor quick. You can be scammed quick. And there's a whole lot of people that constantly trying to figure out how you can get something for nothing. That's only a fool's game. I'm 65 years old. Listen, let me tell you something. When I was 20, 21, I was trying. But I'm telling you, everything that I've done over time, I got wealthy over time. Over time. That same house I was telling you about when I bought in Miami Lakes, I bought that house in 1986 for $70,000. I bought a duplex for $70,000. All of them over $400,000. But that's because of time. I didn't make it. It's because of time. It's like your bodies. I mean, you know, I'm 20 years old when I was 21. Now I'm 65. My body can't do what time. Your bones and everything, time. So when people, I'm telling you, especially Black people, when you start understanding it's time, cultivate it. The turtle always wins. The story has always been told. You already know. The turtle and the rabbit. The turtle won. That is a clue. Slow and steady. Get your financial house in order. Don't worry about the little up and down stuff. That's nothing. In the long run, stocks will always outperform. Real estate. If you don't, but you can't take that up and down because you freaking out, you keep watching it, then don't do it. Most of y'all shouldn't be in it if you got to do that. But I'm telling you, remember the year 2020 when COVID came out? All this stuff went down. I don't care what fund, what stock, what investment, from Merrill Lynch to Goldman Sachs, everything went down. But look at it now. Then it went back up. Then it go back down. It's like a staircase. It's gonna go up. But you notice it's going higher, but it's still volatile. So if you can't deal with that, deal with the annuities. Deal with the cash value life insurance. Deal with the real estate. There's only 3 ways to create long-term generational wealth. One is you have a business that's going to continue long after you're gone. Give you an example, Coca-Cola. The man dead now who started it. Coca-Cola, they don't care. They still drinking Coca-Cola, okay? Hilton Hotel, the man dead. Conrad Hilton is dead. Today, Hilton Hotels is serving people. They renting. They going inside of hotels. Same with Marriott. That's continuity. If you got a printing business, if you're not there, it's still going to be making money. That's a way to create wealth, having a business. But if you don't want to have a business, then buy some real estate. Buy this piece of property, move out, rent it, and then buy another one. Move out, rent it, and then buy another one. And then keep renting. And then you're getting income. Now I know, yes, listen, let me tell you something. There's nothing that you don't have some drama with. You stop thinking that you're going to have enough money where you ain't going to have no drama. It's called life. The roof going to leak. The car going to break down. The battery going to stop in the car. Why? Yesterday you drove good. Today the battery did. What happened? The laptop. Same thing about a laptop. Stop trying to think that you ain't going to have no problem. It's called life. I don't care if you're a billionaire. Something going to happen. Your back going to hurt. Your shoulder going to hurt. The roof going to hurt. Something. The window won't work. Whatever. You can never stop having challenges. So get used to it. But that don't mean you got to spend all your money. Stop. If you make $50,000, you got to have a budget. You're only going to spend 40. You're going to keep 10. You got to keep something for yourself. That's a universal law. If y'all spending, I don't care how much money you make. People come in here, they make $600,000 a year. I said, let's look at your cash flow. Well, how you make $600,000 a year and you spending $700,000? Where you getting another $100,000 from? Credit cards? Jesus Christ! When you was you born rich? No. What happened? Man, I got lost myself. Well, you need to find yourself. And when you're over 40 years old, you cannot be spending all your money. We are greater than squirrels. Squirrels gather their nuts. They eat some, but they save some for the different time. You can't stop. You got to stop spending your future assets today. You can't, if you spending everything today, you ain't, what are you going to have in the future? The squirrel at least ate some nuts and put some nuts away for the future. If you're trying to stay alive, that means it's a future. Now, if you figure like you're going to kill yourself tonight, there ain't no future. Spend it all, eat it all. But if you're trying to stay alive, there's a future. Then you got to have something. Okay. I'm running out of time. Okay. I hope, plus I'm starting to preach. A lot of this stuff is just general logic to me. Time. I love this time when I was 20, 21 years old to where I am right now. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I see how time has made them very, very wealthy. I see that, man. I see that. Just plant the seeds. Be like a farmer and just have crop. It's diversified, though, So, like I said, 3 ways to build wealth: having a business, having real estate. That last one that I really like, and you don't have to do nothing. That's life insurance. If you have a fat life insurance policy or you put money in, I'm not talking about the term. You're going to die. All of us going to die. That money going to come to your loved ones tax-free. You don't have to give it to them all at once. You can set up a provision where that money goes into a trust. And then they get spoon-fed X amount of money. It'll last them a long time. You don't have to give it all to them because they may just run down the street buck naked and lose their mind. But if you don't have real estate, you didn't have a business, at least get a nice life insurance policy. Now, some of y'all say, man, I ain't leaving them nothing. Y'all think Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, y'all hear them saying they ain't leaving their children nothing. Don't believe that. They're not leaving it to them directly. They're leaving it to them indirectly. They're putting it into a trust account, or they're putting it into a nonprofit, personal nonprofit account. Because you can have a personal nonprofit. You don't have to just give it a United Way. You can have a Robert Henderson nonprofit family nonprofit plan. And when you put money in that nonprofit, it grows and you don't pay no taxes. I need to probably talk to y'all about that. Did y'all know the NFL is a nonprofit organization? So all that money the NFL get, they don't pay not one dime in taxes. Did you know that you yourself can create your own personal nonprofit plan and put money in it every year and get a tax deduction and still invest the money in real estate or stocks or annuities? You can do that and never pay no taxes. That's way better than a Roth. We have to talk about that too, because I got a lot of stuff I can talk to you all about. It's a lot to learn. So you should have your ears and eyes open at all times. If you want to know more, call 305-825-1444 and arrange a conference call with me or Zoom. That's all you got to do. It'll be confidential between you and me. But you need to do something. You know, if you're getting a thought that you know you need to do it, stop. Don't be talking about no shoulda, woulda, coulda. I get people coming to me talking about, man, they heard me 10 years ago. You done messed up 10 years. You can't get them time back. So you got to take advantage because time is very precious. Every day is. Understand how time works. And if you don't want to call me, go on our website and find out all what we do. That's www.hendersonfinancialgroup.com. www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. And then you can visit our website, look at our videos, and find out more. And you can also call me, 305-825-1444. And listen, I hope you guys learned something today. And if you knew it all, share this information with some more loved ones, some people that did not know, okay? I hope I didn't talk over your head too sophisticated. I try to break it down to you like a 6-year-old. That's my motto. Break it down, keep it simple, All right, hope y'all learned something. Much love. Take care of yourself and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And begin to think peace, love, and happiness. Bye-bye.